Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Past tense simple and progressive. This is exercise number 3. Fill in the correct form of the past tense. أو تاني عندي simple past or past continuous. Number 1. We a few miles off the coast when a horrible thunderstorm up. We to get to safety as soon as possible. وعندي sail, come and have. Number 2. I haven't seen him for ages. When I lost him, he for a new job. وعندي see and look. While the two teams up everyone a flag. It's a very emotional moment. وعندي warm, wave, be. What when I to your place yesterday evening? هذه question من conversation. I the baby. وعندي do you do. عندي come. وعندي feed. 5. I down a dark alley when suddenly I footsteps. I around and that an old woman with a dog me. Wait. I down a dark alley when suddenly I footsteps. I around and that an old woman with a dog me. وعندي walk, hear, turn, see, follow. 6. Why out last night? Question. I too tired and to stay at home. وعندي you not go, be and decide. 7. The policeman asked me, how fast when you the old lady in front of you. وعندي you drive وعندي see. 8. Mom dinner when we home from football practice. عندي prepare and get. 9. When I young I always to be a pilot. Be and want. When I always to be a pilot. 10. Last Sunday afternoon I for a walk in the park and a cup of coffee at a local restaurant. And they go and have. 11. When to the airport the plane off. And they get and they just take. The last sentence. I on a bench in the park when a man up to me and to know what time it. وعندي sit, come, want and be. ونشوفوا دابا صحيح. Sentence number 1. We a few miles off the coast when يعني had when a horrible thunderstorm هاد من هاد وين هنايا تعطيني الفكره كاينه شي شورت اكشن هنايا اللي حبسات واحد شورت اكشن اللي قبل منها يعني هنا غتكون we were sailing a few miles off the coast past continuous when a horrible thunderstorm came up. We had to get to safety as soon as possible. We had. Number 2. I haven't seen him for ages. When I last saw him, simple past, when I last saw him يلي عندي see وعندي look, he was looking for a new job. Was looking. 3. While the two teams يعني بلي عندي هنا while بينما كتعني بينما يعني while the two teams كانت يدير شي حاجة هنا everyone كانت يدير شي حاجة أخرى هنا يعني two actions at the same time happening at the same time. While the two teams were warming up everyone was waving a flag. يعني في نفس الوقت كانوا يديروا تسخينات والآخرين كانوا يديروا waving a flag. It was a very emotional moment. What وقلنا هذه question من conversation. What وعندي you do. When I وعندي come to your place yesterday evening. What were you doing? What were you doing when I came to your place yesterday evening? I was يعني what were you doing? I was feeding the baby. 5. I down a dark alley when suddenly down a dark alley. I was walking down a dark alley when suddenly I heard footsteps. I turned around and saw that an old woman with a dog were following me. Number 6. Why وعندي you not go. Why didn't you go out last night? Why didn't you go out last night? B. I was too tired, decided to stay home. 7. The policeman asked me how fast you drive when you يعني a long action هنا. How fast were you driving when you saw the old lady in front of you? 8. Mom, dinner when we يعني when we short action جاي هنا. Mom was preparing dinner when we got home from football practice. 9. When I بين هذه B. When I was young, I always wanted to be a pilot. 10. Last Sunday afternoon for a walk. I went and the last Sunday afternoon exact time simple past. I went for a walk in the park and had a cup of coffee at a local restaurant. 11. When to the airport the plane off. When they get to the airport when they get غتكون simple past got and the when they got to the airport the plane was just taken off. Last sentence. I on a bench in the park when a man وعندي sit when a man يعني عرفتني بين واحد short action هنا غتكون long action. I was sitting on a bench in the park when a young man came up to me and wanted to know what time it was. جبنا لكم توفيق.